Hey, what's up, everybody? Hope you're all doing very well. The market is in a major panic right now, so I decided to make a video to kind of talk about what's been going on and to give you guys some insight from a professional trader that has been doing this for about 9 years now. So let's just take a look at the charts here and get right into what is going on with the market right now. So Bitcoin is currently dropping down to these particular levels. The market has been rocked. And the best way that I gauge if the market is down for the day is simply by looking at two things. One, my portfolio, and two, the bot that I have that trades for me. If the bot is performing poorly and losing money, then that means that the market in general is very bad because my bot is profitable in a bullish market. Until then, we're going to have to wait until better days come. So right now, what we can see is that the measure of volatility, the best way to look at it would be the chandelier exit indicator. What it does is it measures the volatility in the market and it gives you a solid support green line. If it stays above the green line here, the price action wise, then it would be considered a bullish market. And usually when it breaks below the green line, it's going to turn red and then a resistance forms that tells us that the bearish volatility will not be broken until we break above this current red line, which is a resistance of the volatility. And as we can see right now, the strong resistance is at this red line, which is about $72,000. Until we break well and clear above there on a daily to make this turn back to green, we are going to stay bearish for short term. Now, I need you guys to understand that the halving cycle is only a few weeks away, about 2 weeks. And during this halving event, it's very critical because every time after a Bitcoin halving event, it always sparks a massive rally to the upside. Now, I saw a very interesting video a few days ago that I wanted to talk about really quickly. Okay, so this is called the hash ribbons, and I talked about it in other videos in the past before. And what this hash ribbons is really showing is it's showing something called miners capitulation. Okay, whenever the miners are feeling stressed because the price of Bitcoin is too low, sometimes they're gonna have to, especially the small miners, they're gonna have to sell off some of their Bitcoins because they need that extra capital to keep their operations going. And whenever there's miners capitulation, it's always going to indicate to us here through a indicator called hash ribbons. Okay, so the hash ribbons is right here. You can see that. So it's going to indicate, for example, here it shows us that there's miners capitulation. Okay, and then when the hash rate starts to pick up again, and this is where the hash rate severely starts to diminish, and then the hash rate starts to pick up again, as you can see here, it gives us a very clear buy signal. Every time that there has been a buy signal, there's actually only been 12 in all of history. There's only been 12 times where we've actually seen the hash ribbon fire off an actual buy signal. Okay, so I'm just going to give you guys an example here. So you can see that, for example, there was miners capitulation over here. Over here in 2016, slightly after the halving event, the miners ended up stopping their operations. The hash rate of Bitcoin ended up dropping, and then eventually we get another buy signal, which is a great opportunity for you to DCA and buy into the market because the hash rate is picking up. And then eventually after the buy signal fires off here, it leads to massive all-time highs. And we can see that over here because the price dropped too much and the small time miners are not able to keep up. We had another miners capitulation event. But then in 2019, January, it picked back up and that was the optimal time to start buying again. And you can see that it leads up to a major bull run, and because of the dip, it happens again. And sometimes after the buy signal fires off, it can be only a short moment of a bull run. As you can see here, then a drop occurs again, and then a capitulation occurs. But eventually, when it fires it off, there's always a great opportunity. This one was a short-term one over here. Okay, very, very short-term one. Okay, but what we're seeing is that whenever the bull market is likely to begin, which is probably slightly after this halving event that occurs. So after the halving event, okay, there is the block reward that's cut in half, and that's important to understand. Now, if the price of Bitcoin was extremely low and we were not rallying to the upside, then there's a higher likelihood of us having a miners capitulation, and then these miners end up selling off their position. And for example, in the last bull market, this happened because of COVID, right? So COVID occurred, and then many people were selling off their positions as well. Okay, and then the price of Bitcoin ended up dropping drastically along with the market because of COVID. And then eventually we recovered because people came into a lot more money. But what you can see right now is that the price of Bitcoin is not low in any way. It's in fact very high. The higher the price of Bitcoin, the better it is. So a lot of people are worried that we already broke the all-time high, and because we never done it before the halving event. We've always broken the all-time high after the halving event. But in this case, it's before the halving event. And this is a good sign because since the price is so high, despite the miners receiving half of the block reward now, it's almost irrelevant in terms of forcing them to sell off their Bitcoins to sustain their mining operations. Because the Bitcoin price is so high, they're going to be profitable regardless. So I can't see a lot of people selling off their positions in any way after the Bitcoin halving event occurs. Now, there might be a small dip because short-term and medium-term volatility is natural in the market. We might see like the lowest we will ever get, in my honest opinion, if we saw a large dip, is probably going to be like, I would say about $58,000 above this 4-day chandelier exit indicator. Okay, that'd be the lowest that we would see it, which is like a 15% dip. But do I see like a 30% dip happening? No, I don't see us breaking down in any way further than that, simply because of what I mentioned earlier. Many people are not selling their Bitcoins. The number of wallets are increasing daily. The liquidity is also drying up as well. BlackRock and huge institutions are still buying up as well. All the metrics are pointing towards an accumulation period that is happening right under our eyes right now. Not only that, the way that I see this from a technical perspective, okay, which is from Elliott Wave, I'm seeing that this is only the first wave that's occurred. And then this is the third, and then there's going to be a 4, and then there's going to be a 5. This is what's likely to occur. Now, we don't know if third will be extended in any way, but the way that I see this right now is I see this with a subwave. This is an A and a B that's higher than 1, and then a C. And I see this as a wave 4, okay, and then I see this as a wave 5 happening, a subwave 5. Now, the subwave 5 could be an extended wave, we never know, or it could be normal. A wave 4 could come down normally as well, then a huge wave 5 could be extended, or it could be normal. We don't really know, but what we do know is that this looks like it's only the makings of an actual fourth wave occurring. So if people are asking, is there likely to be a major dip that's going to occur, that's going to wipe out all these profits? I don't think so, guys. And if a dip does occur, it's only short-term volatility. I think that only the newer traders or the newer investors are the ones that are going to be extremely worried about this short-term volatility. I myself, for one, I don't care about it. In fact, I don't care about it so much that I'm heading to France next week on a vacation. I'm just going to ignore the market, ride my multi-million-dollar portfolio, and then I'll check on it once in a while. But in terms of day trading this market, it's also not worth my time to day trade a market that's more bearish short term than it is bullish. Now, my best advice to give to people is to show extreme patience. If you've had a bull market experience year under your belt already, then make sure you understand that this type of short-term volatility is normal. Also understand the halving cycle. It happens about every 4 years. The halving event is a anchor point that's going to mark off an accumulation period that will eventually catapult as a launch pad to the bull market. Now, ROIs will be insane. We have not even had a major bull market season for alts yet. Now, the altcoins are eventually going to fly off once people take those profits from Bitcoin and they get extracted from BTC and F, and then they inject it into the altcoin market. So my best advice for you guys is to make sure that you're always focusing on managing your portfolio. Now, let's be real. If you want to day trade, you got to ask yourself realistically, okay? Have I been profitable day trading before ever? right? The bull market's not the time for you to test your skills. The bull market is the time for you to showcase your skills, to show that you're good, not to see if you could be profitable, okay? Because the chances of you trading successfully in a very volatile market, if you have not proven yourself before, it's honestly zero. Like, you're not going to become a better day trader just because it's a bull market, right? You might get lucky. So when you're dividing and managing the risk of your portfolio versus your capital to day trade, make sure you're being realistic with yourself. If you have like $5,000, for example, okay, or let's just say 10,000 to make it round, $10,000, you have to decide how much am I going to put in my investment portfolio, and how much am I going to put in my actual day trading portfolio, because this will make a gigantic difference, okay? Because if you go 50-50, but you're not a good day trader and you haven't proven yourself before, well, $5,000, which is 50% of the 10K, it could go poof, it could vanish. And the last thing you want to do is regret not putting that money or more of that money into your actual portfolio where it could see much better returns. So in my opinion, the way to do it in a bull market is to have a little bit for day trading for fun and to see if you can actually capitalize on it. But if you've never proven yourself before, I would highly suggest for you to put the majority of that in your actual investment portfolio. And then with the right diversification, you can expect a pretty decent gain depending on your risk tolerance and also your long-term objectives to see how much you would like to profit. So make sure you guys are always studying up on that. And that just brings me to a point where my 2024's Investor's Guide to Crypto, it's coming out soon. I've been spending my time making you guys a really well-detailed course because many people have been asking about it. Hey, Philakone, how are you diversifying your $5 million portfolio, and what measures are you taking to manage it? How and why did you pick these specific coins? How are you managing your risk? How am I planning to dollar cost average further? What coins are in it and why did I choose them? The most important question. And also another important one is, how do I plan to exit the market as well? So I'm putting together a really detailed like 12, 13-hour course for you guys. It's $125, really cheap. I'm only charging to respect myself and my time. Not only that, it's worth it. So make sure you guys pick it up in about actually 3 days, 4 days, it'll be released. If you go through that course, you will have a much higher chance of being successful than that person over there or over there that didn't. There's a reason why I'm managing such a large portfolio, and it's because I put in the time to research everything so you don't have to. So if you just follow these steps of mine, your chances of succeeding in the bull market will be drastically increased. So make sure you guys are staying very calm. It's all right. This market, it's going to be volatile short term. This is just part of the game. And if you can't withstand it, if you can't take the heat, then get your ass out of the kitchen. That's just how it goes. So this is your 10-minute daily update. I'll see you for the next one. Bye now.